Welcome, welcome, welcome to another Wisdom Wednesday. I am so excited because this is the platform where wisdom meets curiosity, and we do this every Wednesday. And we are so excited to get into today's topic, which happens to be an extension of Saturday School, November Saturday School. Listen, November Saturday School was so good to me that I had to double back and make sure that if you didn't get a chance to see it, that you are able to participate in this Wisdom Wednesday. At Saturday School, we talked about the importance of mastering your time. And in fact, in good old TQA fashion, we came up with an acronym. And the acronym simply is TIME. TIME. And each of those letters have a corresponding meaning. So T, track priorities. I, integrate effective and efficient systems. M, minimize distractions and monitor progress. E, energize your schedule and execute. If you missed Saturday school, November Saturday school, I am so sorry. But have no fear because you can replay it. Yes, you can on our YouTube channel. So make sure you stop what you're doing right now. Subscribe to the Culture Academies LLC's YouTube channel where you can get all of the Wisdom Wednesdays that we've done and all of the Saturday schools that we've done. I'm just super excited if you can't tell because this information is gold and y'all getting it for free. Okay, that's a conversation for another time. But let's talk about, you see what I did there? A conversation for another time. But today we're going to talk a little bit more in detail about how to ensure that we're mastering our time by using this acronym. So the first letter, T, track priorities. We want to take time to discuss how you audit and track current tasks to understand where your time is spent. I don't know about you, but I have to do this when it comes to my budget. I have to go through my spending habits and see where a lot of my money is being Amazon, huh? Where a lot of my money is being spent. And so the same thing goes for your time. You got to take a moment, take stock, take an audit of where your time is being spent so that you can move forward. One way that you could do this, or an action step that you could take, is by implementing a daily priority log or just a log. I mean, if we at square one, it's okay. Just start logging your time. So you may want to start putting your things on a calendar and actually seeing how much time you're dedicated to different things. Because if you're just letting things happen to you and you not making it happen, that becomes problematic. And you won't be able to track where your stuff is going. Your time is going, that is. So go ahead, find a system that works for you where you can monitor where your time is spent. And from that, you can determine what your actual priorities are and if you're spending time on the priorities or if you need to pivot. So, not only are you going to track your time, you also want to monitor and review to see exactly again where your time is being spent. So, you might want to log some time, maybe 10 to 15 minutes reviewing your log, just so that you can see what is taking up the most of your time, what tasks. And make sure that these tasks that's taking up all your time is actually aligned to the goal that you set for yourself. You can use tools such as a bullet journal, digital apps such as Trello, which is fantastic. Todoist, of course, your Google Calendar. If you have Outlook, your Outlook calendar. You can do all the things and then go ahead and categorize the tasks that you've been doing again so you can see where your priorities are. Those are actually ways to go to the next letter, which is I. Integrate efficient and effective systems. So before you can implement them, you got to try them out. Try out, introduce yourself to some tools and strategies that will help streamline your workflow and help you to integrate routines. Again, you can look at tools like Google Calendar, your Outlook calendar. There are project management tools such as Asana, ClickUp. In Outlook, there is a project management tool as well that you can use. This way you can do some time management, some project management. You can look at the tasks, you can assign tasks, you can make sure that you are meeting your deadlines. You can do all the things seamlessly, but the first thing you got to do is introduce yourself to these tools and see what works best for you. Some of us just have to, and I'm not saying I'm one of them, just go back to the good old paper and pencil planner. But for me and my house, not only do we have the paper and pencil planner, but we also activate our calendar. So my personal home life and all of that, my Google Calendar is everything. For work, it's Outlook. Again, it's everything. And all of my effective and efficient systems are based on that Outlook or that Microsoft platform to help me keep everything focused and to be able to move forward to meet my deadlines and do all the things. Now, when you are finally trying to get focused and maximize your time so that you can meet your deadlines, have work life balance, you got to make sure that you are minimizing distractions, number one, but you're also monitoring progress. So we've been talking about, introducing these skills and these opportunities. But if you don't minimize distractions, you're not going to be able to do them. Let's be for real. And then if you're not monitoring progress, you're not going to know if they're working or not. So think about some ways that you can limit distractions and set boundaries. One thing we talked about at Saturday school was a focus hour policy. And it may not necessarily be an hour, but it's an opportunity for you to have some designated work time. And in this time period, you are turning off your notifications, you're making sure that your staff is not interrupting you unless it is an emergency. Now, for me, I mentioned this at Saturday school, and I'll say it again. I don't necessarily believe in focus hour or focus time during my day at work because so many things happen. So I have to, a strategy that I use is getting to work earlier, where I have some downtime to check emails and do things and organize and refresh and reset earlier in the morning before everybody gets to work, and or I will stay later after everybody leaves. That way I have those dedicated times where I am just focused on that. So that is my focus hour, my focus time, so that during the day when I'm in the school building, I can make sure that my students and my teachers are getting my undivided attention because we're already pulled so much for meetings and this and that. And so I want to make sure that I'm maximizing my time when everybody's in attendance to devote my focus time outside of the times. I know I'm saying times a lot, but outside of the times when folks are not needing me in high demand. Also, I assign specific things on my calendar during those blocks of time so that I can again monitor my progress, make sure I'm tracking my priorities. So in the morning, before everyone gets in, I go ahead. I think my daughter calls it a quiet morning. I go ahead, I make my coffee, I sit down, I go through my emails, I see what's hot and pressing. And then after school, anything that I didn't catch during the school day, that's when I'll go and respond, take action, and all of that because I really want to minimize distractions from taking me away from my students and my teachers, but also I want to be able to not miss deadlines and all the things like that. And so when you have such a heavy mantle as a leader, which I've been sharing often, we have to make sure that we not only energize our schedule, we also got to make sure that we execute because these are the tips for how we master and manage our time effectively. So when we talk about energizing our schedule and executing, we want to make sure that we are all taking breaks that are going to energize us to maintain productivity. What do some of these breaks look like? Well, first of all, maybe a few Wisdom Wednesdays ago and a Saturday school ago, I talked about educators, leaders. Oftentimes, we don't eat. We don't eat. We don't eat. Take a break. Take a moment to rejuvenate yourself by getting some food, getting some water. That's a energizing break. That's what I mean by energizing your schedule. Taking a break to make sure you take care of you. It may also look like taking a walk every day. Taking a 5 minute walk every hour, a mid afternoon walk, do some kung fu or mindfulness, breathing, do a little exercise, walking pad into your desk, whatever you got to do. Take a moment just to energize, reinvigorate yourself so that you are making sure that you are productive. Um, make for me, I'm gonna tell you what gets me excited. If I find that I'm behind closed doors, and I don't do this often, but if I'm called to a meeting or if I'm in a whole bunch of other meetings, one of the things that I like to do as an educational leader in the school building is by doing lunch duty. Now I know that may sound kind of like, "Mm," but I get to talk to kids, and this is why I do what I do. I get to go into the lunch, the cafeteria. I talk to kids. Some of our kids eat lunch outside. It's a way for me to connect with them. I have a group of students that they all have Stanley Cups. Okay. And so what did I go do? I bought me a Stanley Cup so I could be a part of the crew and sit with them. It's just different ways for me to energize my schedule by being around the people that motivate me to go to work every day. The kids. Yes, I said it, the kids. Also, I love to be thought partners with my colleagues, with my teachers, my staff when they want to try something new, hearing their ideas, hearing how they want to execute a lesson. That's another way that energizes my schedule because one, they look for some advice from me and they look at, what do you think about this? What are some blind spots? What are these things that I'm not seeing that you may see? And just having those little conversations and then being invited into their space when they're actually ready to execute, that gives me so much energy. So I know I just used the word execute. We can do all the things and have all the things written down and do all the things, but the thing we have to do is keep the main thing, and execute. Lastly, I want to empower you to make sure that whatever you decide to do, however you decide to master or manage your time, you make sure that it's something that you can do that's sustainable. All right. So, how do you know if it's sustainable or not? Of course, again, you got to progress monitor. You got to reflect. You got to look back and look over your practices, look at how you spent your time, and see if it was doing what it needed to do. Make sure that you also embed these practices with your team and your staff so that they can help you to stay on track, stay on target, to make sure that your priorities are being met. Also, I encourage you for sustainability purposes to empower those leaders in your organization, in your school building, if you're a school leader, if you're corporate, if you're an organization, empower those people. There are folks that are hungry, that are seeking opportunities to step up, to be leaders. They want to be mentored. Use this opportunity to empower them so you don't have to carry the load all by yourself. It is okay. Part of being a leader is to empower, is to coach, is to inspire, is to mentor others that want to be where you are. And what a great way to do that while you're taking time to make sure that you are mastering and maximizing your time. Okay? Leverage, you're going to hear me say this all the time, leverage the expertise where you're at. You're not the only one that has all the answers. I'm going to say it one more time. Leverage the expertise where you are. You do not have to be the one that has all the answers. And my favorite quote, make sure that you are proactive so you don't have to be reactive. Listen, that's my time. Those are your nuggets for this Wisdom Wednesday. I hope you enjoyed them. If you don't remember anything else, remember it is so important to maximize and master your time. T-I-M-E. Thank you so much. Until next time, guys. Bye.